Hi there. In this video I'm going to try and fix this Hotpoint Ariston washing machine that's giving the dreaded F9 error. Just as an idea, I power it on, I press the button, and about 30 seconds it basically does nothing, then it gives the error and everything is flickering. As far as I could research this error, it seems to be a mainboard error, which is kind of annoying. To get to the mainboard, we have a screw on this side and a screw, where's my hand, on this side. So basically, at the back of this, one on this side and one on the other side. Let me open those, and then this front should be coming out something like this. You can slide it out. Or no, my bad, sorry. Actually, in the other direction it will slide out. Obvious first step, unplug the washing machine so you don't get shocked, because yeah, that would suck. Screws are removed, and now let me start pushing this thing, and as you can see, it's starting to move, but it's quite stubborn, so it will take a bit of non-gentle persuasion. And it's pushed. Camera, please focus on something already. Here we have this camera, focus, this pin which will catch under the edge, so I tried to lift it from the other side as much as I could. It was already unhooked here, and just wiggled it around on this side also until it released from that pin. For sure it made some marks somewhere in there, I'm quite positive. Yep, we have them right in the middle of the screen, but hey, there's that, don't care about that. And this just has, as you can see, some latches all over the place, which go into that metal and under the plastic in the front. Ugh, this needs to be taken out and cleaned. Anyway, now we kind of start to have access to the main board itself to see, and I don't like what I see there. That's some corrosion. To see what happened. So let's continue. To get a bit better access in here, I'm going to remove one screw here, one in there, one in there, and one somewhere in there, and that should release this whole thing, including the black plastic retainer for the PCB itself, and only after that I will remove the PCB from the retainer. And yes, somehow I will need to unhook this connector, which seems to be the only one that's going to this PCB. Ah, there's another screw right here which I need to undo. I hope this corrosion did not get to the board itself, but we will see. And yes, I think this washing machine, is it 15 years old? Between 10 and 15 years old, so even if I cannot fix it and cannot find a replacement board, this has done its job, honestly, compared to other electronics. This is not really electronics, but has electronics in it that fail much sooner, this time in 2020 more or less. But hey, I still want to try and get more life out of it, because the rest is working exactly as it should be, no problem whatsoever. So hey, hopefully I can fix it. And we have the whole control module out. Let me try and figure out how to unplug that connector right there. Okay, I pushed that clip backwards, and just that could have ended badly, and just put a screwdriver under it and started to push up, and seems to be coming out, and this locks directly with the PCB, and I can directly see corrosion in there. How did this happen? This is not an area where anything enters. As you can see, there is no traces of humidity here on top, so how did it actually find its way in there somewhere? This is weird. What happened here? something sprayed in here, or just over the years from humidity, from, I don't know, running the drying part of it, something accumulated in here. Could be that, who knows, really. Those contacts don't look happy at all. I need to clean them with a brush and contact cleaner. Hopefully they still did survive, just a bit corroded. On the board itself, yikes, lots of corrosion. How does this thing even work until now? This is a good washing machine, I hope I can fix it. If this thing still worked with this much corrosion, phew, hats off. Took off all the screws holding this thing, so they are out. And now we have just clips holding the PCB in. I need to unlock all the clips. I see 4. I think this is, maybe it's still a clip or a centering. So at least 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. This is a centering for sure. Oh, and clips on the edge. Oh, and another one here. So there are lots of clips. And presumably when I undo it, the switches will be free to fly around, so yeah, be careful about that. These traces are not looking happy at all. I need to clean this really well with contact clean and a small brush. The rest of the PCB I cannot see it being affected, so any water or detergent only got up to this part. I will also clean this just so it doesn't corrode, but I think this is just standard corrosion, not from detergent, just from time. But here detergent reached the area for sure. Not really sure through where. I looked a lot inside the washing machine, haven't seen any possible source. Wife says she did not drop anything with detergent, so I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to try and clean this, and that black trace right there, presumably it's destroyed. I'm going to try and remove the solder mask on top of it. If the trace is still existing in there, I will put solder on top of it. If it's not existing, I need to make a bridge from here to that point right there. And here we have some other traces, and I might need to make a bridge from there to there, and from there to presumably there, or something like that. Or maybe another point that's a bit closer. I will scratch the solder mask. I don't know. We'll see. Rest of it seems okay. I've read on forums that sometimes this error comes from capacitors being basically old and inflated and not having the correct capacity anymore, but these seem to be the only ones on this board, at least of this type, obviously not surface mounted. And this type, as far as I know, are solid caps, so they shouldn't have any issue. Maybe I'm wrong, but don't look at all with problems to me. If this will not solve the issue, I might try and replace them just for the heck of it and see what happens, but nope, doesn't seem to have other issues. But this here is really bad, so I can expect this creating all sorts of errors and problems. Sorry for the fan noise, I'm overheating in here. I need to put an AC in this work area. This is the best that I could do with contact cleaner, so it's not enough. I'm going to use some really fine sandpaper. I cannot tell you the grit because I don't have it on this particular piece, but I don't know, 1200, maybe even more. So I'm just going to clean them extremely softly and see what I'm left with. This is the pieces that I used for cleaning. As you can see, they are full of corrosion. This is what we are left with. At least one of the pads, the one in the middle, is disconnected. Maybe I'm lucky enough to be able to attach it locally without needing to add a wire. Not sure. I will see how it goes with this little guy. a little bit of solder and a ton of patience. It has an extremely small tip. It's the TS100 if you don't have something like this, but honestly, if you don't have something like this, this might be a little bit hard to do for a beginner. These traces are extremely thin. So yeah, I'm going to try and fix them, cover them with solder, and then clean this board as well as I can. Then apply a little bit of clear coat on top of the solder so it will not corrode. Obviously not on the contact parts, their solder will remain exposed. Just on the traces I will apply a bit of clear coat. And we'll see what we get. Okay, so all of them seem to be connected apart from the one in the middle. Yes, I have a lot of flux on the board for the moment, if you are interested. So we do not burn everything in here, and we do not let the solder oxidize. But yeah, that one I need to use a tiny bit of wire, just one strand of this wire, so it has many strands, a single one. Ooh, and I have a fluff on the end. One single strand to connect that to the trace. I don't want to connect all the way in here, but worst case I could directly solder wires to these traces in a way or another, the wires in the washing machine, and don't have a connector anymore at all. But I want to try and salvage, save the connector, let's say like that. So a strand of this will be going there. Just an idea, if you are wondering why am I not filming while I'm soldering, this is my workspace. It's not finished. We moved into a new house. I don't have anything set up here, so but the washing machine needs to wash. So hopefully you can see the wire right there. I soldered it in place and now I need to break the end, and in theory we are left with a connection, as you can see in the middle, on the middle pin. So this should be good. Now at this point we need just to clean all of these contacts. Or I might help this one, although I don't know, it seems to be connected. Let me clean everything and take a better look at them. Patched up another trace that I honestly think was actually good. But, oh, I can go deep in. You can see a wire right here in the middle of the screen on the connector connection to the right, but on its left leg. It looked quite flimsy. The right leg is okay, this one next to it is okay, then the one in the middle we repaired. This one, the leg is okay, it's missing a corner, doesn't really matter. This one leg is okay. At this point I'm covering, let me try and show you with something. Quite hard to film this close, but it seems this phone can actually do it. I just need a good tripod in this area. From here upwards I'm going to cover everything in a clear coat so they don't get corroded. Although solder doesn't get corroded quite easily, as you can see it right here, it's exposed everywhere. But the bare copper under this green solder mask can get corroded quite easily if something gets to it, as we could already see. So in theory this is fixed. Now I'm going to use some contact cleaner to clean the connector itself. To clean that flux, camera focus, exposure and focus locked. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, to clean this flux I used just some isopropylic alcohol, and that's about it. Yeah, I put it in this from my wife because it has a tiny tip, and used a brush to clean it. But this is not a micro soldering tutorial. Just search for Louis Rossmann on YouTube and watch his videos. You can see how to do stuff like this 100 times better than I could ever explain or do it. But yeah, these traces are small. This is my finger next to them, so you can kind of see the cells in my skin, and look at this. So they are tiny, honestly. Without the TS100's tiny tip, I could not do this ever. That's a good soldering iron. Anyway, let's go clean the connector, cover this in transparent lacquer, anyway, and hope for the best. And yes, this is just alcohol that will evaporate on this area. Don't mind it. Sorry for the fan noise, I'm overheating again, and the clear coat is just, I don't know, nail polish, transparent one that my wife didn't like. I've used this on PC and laptop motherboards, always with good results. Sticks well, lasts well, so I'm going to also use it here. Just as an idea, this board is from 2007, so honestly, good job Ariston for this. And it only failed because some detergent got in here, who knows how. I do have two small daughters, so who knows what they tried to, I don't know, push in here. Anyway, this is covered, as you can see, dried. Let's go connect the connector, plug everything in, and hope for the best. Also cleaned the connector with some contact cleaner. We are lucky because the part that actually makes contact in our case is this top one that you can see here, and it looks really good. The really corroded one, the bottom one, is still greenish, as you can see, so still has some corrosion on it, but that actually goes on the back of the board. So do we really care? No, not really. Used this thing just to stop the corrosion from continuing to eat at it. Cleaned as much as I could. Yes, I could try to open up this connector somehow and clean them even better, but I don't think it makes any sense at this point. The top ones, which are again the ones that make contact, are in good shape, and that's what we need. And if ever over the years I have any other issues, I'm coming in here and directly soldering the wires to the contacts and be done with it. But I don't think, again, these look good, the top ones. Dry this up as best as I could with a hairdryer. Now basically let's put this thing in here, clip it in place, put back the screws, and continue to reassemble things and hope that it works. Okay, in theory this is plugged in, screws tightened, clips clipped. If I put it like here, it shouldn't have anywhere to short out, I hope. I'm not going to start the washing machine, obviously. I'm just going to plug it in and see if you still get the error or not. Be careful of what you are touching here. You don't want to get shocked. Welcome. Bine ați venit în română. We fixed it. Freaking yes. Wife will be pleased and I will be a happy camper for that. Happy wife, happy life. Now let's put this back in there. Obviously unplug it first. This thing is now screwed in. I took the corroded screw and instead of putting it right here next to this, I obviously put it in a corner where it cannot harm. In here I put a good screw. And yes, presumably somehow water managed to get through this point under. That's the only thing that I can think about. And yeah, there is some mark right here, so who knows what happened. Anyway, I'm going to put the top back on and yes, give this to my wife to clean. If you're wondering how to get this out, in most of them you simply pull it out like this. Not a rule, but yeah. In some of them you lift it, from what I understand, and they might have some clips somewhere, but this is the one that you just pull. To put this top back, you lower it in place and then you start pull it to the front, but I need to clear that, so it will be a bit tricky. I'm also pulling and pushing down. In here it will be simple, it will come quite easily. If you want, you can pull from this end. The hard to do end is locked. Now let me pull it from this. And it should lock here also. It did. Now screws at the back in here, camera show in there and in there. Let's give it one last test. Powered on. Bine ați venit. Welcome. So this 15 years old washing machine, this is the model, it's also a dryer, lives to fight another day. I'm always happy when this happens. Thank you Hotpoint Ariston for making this quite a durable product. It doesn't really happen in this age anymore. Sorry for my shaking hands, I'm a bit tired. In the future I will invest a little bit in some better filming equipment. But anyway, hope this video helps you. The idea is search for corrosion, search for bad contacts, search for inflated and bad capacitors, use a multimeter to search for bad contacts. For me it was that obvious that I just didn't need a multimeter anymore. It was missing a part of the trace on the PCB, so just thought about something now while it's doing the washing the clothes. This board, I don't think it's getting 220 volts. The wires are much too thin, the traces on it are quite small. I haven't seen anything that would diodes or something like that, a diode bridge that would rectify the current. So I'm thinking there is another transformer board or power board somewhere in this washing machine, so in case you don't have bad contacts or one not like I had, or missing pieces of traces, try to check the other transformer board. Find it and check the capacitors maybe on that or the traces. Anyway, there's that. Hope this video helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.